So we're back again with the 80, and today's project is going to be rebuilding the front caliper. So I've got all the stuff I need here, and it of course is all balls again. These guys make everything for these older bikes, which is awesome. Helps guys like me when they take on a task like this and try to rebuild them. So I'll start throwing the brake back together, and then after that I'll put it on the bike and bleed it. Alright, so you usually want to start with the oil seals. Well, this one is the oil seal and this one is the dust seal. So it's not hard to tell which groove they go in. It's probably hard to see, but the furthest one inside has it fits the bigger oil ring, and there's another one just on the lip here, and that fits the dust seal. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in now, and it's always good to have a little bit of .4 brake fluid. Put a little bit of that in the cap, and just helps to get the seals lubed up a bit, and so they go in there better for you. A little oil on it there. And sometimes they just pop in for you, but sometimes they're a little bit tricky. So I just got that bottom started. Let's see if I can get it in there. There we go. So we got the oil seal in there. I'll move on and get the dust seal in. I don't think it really matters which way these go in. They look pretty identical to me, the way they're built, pretty symmetrical, so I don't think there's a certain way to put them in as far as inside outside. It's tough to get it in the groove sometimes. It doesn't want to go in there. There we go, it's in there now. So next is the piston itself, has to go in there. So again, put a little oil on it. It's gonna help it pop in there, past the two seals. Put it in as straight as possible. Shouldn't be this hard though. I think I might have to pop that dust seal out, clean up that track a little bit more. All right, so we got that track for the dust seal cleaned out a little better, so we're gonna reinstall the seals and see if that piston will go in. If you're having trouble putting a piston in, like a lot of trouble, it usually means that it's too tight in there and something's not clean, or something's damaged, or you gotta take a little burr out in there or something like that. Usually it should go together a little easier than it was there. I'll try this dust seal again. Oil seal sure jumps in there for you, but this dust seal, bit of a fighter. Oh, try and get that piston in again. See, that'll go in for me. So you slip it past that dust seal. Try not to cock it one way or the other. And then usually you just gotta wiggle it a bit and it should slip past the oil seal. Just like that. So now an easy way to get these pistons out when you're changing them is to first take it off the bike. Don't drain the oil out of it and just use the oil and pump the brake. Take the brake pads out and pump the brake until the oil pushes this out all the way, and then it'll pop out for you. You'll have a bit of a mess of oil, but it's a lot better than trying to get the tools on it, like a set of pliers or something like that, to drag it out of there. Just use the oil pressure to push the piston out without the brake pads being in the way. It'll come out easier for you. I'll try and get this little seal in here now. Oil it up. Put it on the inside first. There we go. Work it in a bit, make sure it's in there. Then you just slide this piece through and hopefully it won't take the whole seal with it. Till you get into a position where you can put the other part of the seal on around there. It might not be through enough. Through. Now you just put this on there like that, and around, and you got that one in there, and this goes on to this piece here, but we have another seal to put in before I do that. That is, oh, where'd it go? There it is. This one here. Again, just oil it up. Take a quick look at the service manual, make sure it goes in proper. Okay, so this will go in this way. These can be a bit of a bugger. This way. I don't like to use tools to push these through because they're pretty tough, but you can rip them. What I will do is get some needle nose pliers and then just pull it in from that way. It should poke through for you. There you go. Don't want to go too hard on it because, like I said, these can rip. They're pretty tough, but okay, so I got those through. So now I'm just gonna take a quick look at my service manual and see how this goes on to there. So when you've got your seals and everything in, seals and the rubber, and it's time for this little plate to go on. I had to look at my service manual to see which way it goes, and it goes that way into there, and then it goes this thread here goes into there. So what we're gonna do is you want to use some thread locker on these, a little bit blue, not red, because if you got to change them again with the red Loctite, you're gonna run into trouble there. I don't put much on, just enough to keep it from backing out. This is a 12 mil. I think it needs to be like overly tight. Put it in there like that, and you're gonna want to grease this up first. Little slider pin, because that is a moving part when you're using the brakes. It'll go in there just like that, and that will go, and then you just tighten it into there. A little bit of thread locker on there. Then tighten it in. All right, got a little bit squished out here. Get rid of that. So yeah, that'll move as you use your brakes. Back and forth, in and out. So now, I'll have a look. I think the brake pads can probably go in next, but I'm gonna consult the service manual first. So yeah, it is the brake pads next. So get these cut open, get them put in. I've got the little pad spring in there already. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that has to go in before the pads. And then got some neutron brake pads here. Those will just go in one at a time, just like that, just like that. So All Balls does supply new slider pins. That is perfect. I don't grease or oil these because it's gonna collect dust and it's not gonna slide as good then. Put them on bare metal, metal on metal. Slides a little better than dirt. And there's already thread locker on them. All Balls puts that on. And they put it in the kit, so that's perfect. Now we'll just find the Allen wrench for these. Just put them in. There we go. Now these should be ready to go back on the bike now. Now there's one more plug that's got to go in here, and the bleeder screw. So just this is a little plug for the Allen head there, so it doesn't get all dirty, I'm guessing, so you don't have to dig it out next time you do the brakes. Goes in there just like that, easy enough. And now we'll put the bleeder screw back in. So these are 8mm bleeder screws. No Loctite, no anything on them. Might hang up on you a little bit when you're trying to bleed your brakes. So, and you do not need to tighten that much. If you have to wrench on that to get it to stop leaking oil, you got issues. You need a new bleeder screw or a new housing or something. You shouldn't have to tighten that very much to get the oil stop coming out of there. All Balls provides a cap for the oil bleeder screw, so that's good. These guys actually do a really good job. Their kits are pretty good. I like them. All right. There we go. Now we are ready to go back on the bike with this. So flip the camera around and put everything on. Okay, so we got the caliper torque back on there. Everything's moving freely when the hose isn't in the way. So everything seems to be moving pretty good. So now we'll go on to, we'll route the hose down and put that on. Okay, I got that on now. So when you route these hoses, you want to stay to the inside of the fork, because if you have it on the outside, it can catch branches or another bike if you're racing or whatever. So you want to keep your hose on the inside and tight to the fork. So now it is time to open that reservoir up and start bleeding the brakes. Okay, so we got the brake bled now. Probably a good idea to take your bike out for a ride and re-bleed the brakes again, because as the vibration of the bike and just moving can sometimes move air bubbles. So it's good to take your bike for a ride or two and then re-bleed the brakes after you bleed a dry system. All right, so we got the brakes all bled, good pressure there. Put the kill switch on, and now we're ready to move on to the next thing. So that is gonna do it for this video. I checked the runtime there, and it's going on 20 minutes, so that's a bit lengthy for a video, I think. So probably in my next video, I'm going to try to get the electrical done and get the rad on and the rad hoses. And probably after that, if I get my sprocket bolts, I'll put the sprocket on the rear wheel and put the rear wheel on, because it's getting a little bit tippy right now with all the weight on the front. So I'm gonna try and get some kind of counterweight back there. So again, if you want to see this bike get built up, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell. And if you like what you're seeing, give it a thumbs up. And thanks again for watching.